Okay guys, last time we left off with an issue that the engine was running too rich. We tried figuring out a way or to modify the map to tell the ECU to shoot less fuel, and we tried multiple ways to reach that ECU. The problem is that I figured out BMW models older than 1995. Some applications cannot read the ECU, or maybe they're not even readable. Let's say I tried multiple ways to reach the ECU to try and read it. One with this thing, the KES, we call it. It utilizes a program called K-Suite, and basically it allows you to read the ECU.
Yeah.
And with this was not working, not even with the stock cable. It has a normal cable that goes, it becomes OBD2, and then we had an adapter that from OBD2 it became this 20-pin connector. We tried with this one. We tried with a cable called KDCAN cable, which is also used with a program called IMPA. It's a whole other world. I'm not even going to tell you all the things we tried because it's too much. Basically, what I found out is that if you have a car that's 1994 or less, it's not so easy to reach the ECU and read it. So that's why whoever touched this car before, they used to chip tune it.
They did some old style ECU tuning by chip tuning.
Like we tried reaching the ECU in all possible ways. We tried to use this cable, which I'm going to leave right here.
Yeah.
With the adapter, which I'm going to leave right here. Anyway, we tried using these two cables together, and then we tried also Windows XP, we tried Windows 10, we tried a lot of programs, we tried reinstalling, canceling, we tried erasing the programs, install them again, install them different way, different versions. Nothing worked.
Reading forum, watching videos,
we tried
everything.
And I'm not sure, but I think this car has an issue that's not readable like straight away. So this is the chip. Shitty GoPro doesn't focalize. It's very, very common. It used to be very common. Right now, people just buy straight plug-in ECUs, which is much easier, less pain in the ass, but we're still trying to make this project as cheap as possible for you guys. So hope you can appreciate it. All our efforts.
The only downside of the EPROM chip tuning is that you have to plug in the EPROM, try the car on the street, and re-unplug the EPROM, fit in on the EPROM reader,
you cannot do
connect the PC, and do
real-time mapping.
Yeah.
You can't. You have to like remove the chip, map it, put it back in, try again and again.
Yeah.
We ordered that, so next step is going to be, while we wait for the EPROM programmer to arrive, we were thinking of attaching the O2 sensor. Right now we're thinking of attaching the O2 sensor so that the car can look like, okay, this is how much air I'm getting, this is how much fuel I'm getting based on the O2 sensor. She's gonna see like, okay, this mixture is too rich, I can make it leaner. Maybe that's going to avoid that problem of it getting richer, because then she can see like, okay, it's not running leaner, so I can keep it like this. I don't have to make it richer, because she knows what's going on inside the, let's say, inside the engine. So now we're gonna raise the car, start with doing the exhaust system fully to the back, attach the O2 sensor, and see if that's gonna change anything. And then after the EPROM programmer arrives, we can keep going. So let's start with the exhaust. Guarda come un figlio di trama, guarda come un figlio di puttana, porco di... Ta-da! Job completed. We have the O2 sensor right here. The exhaust starts here, so we got a V-band here, all the way around. Anyway, it goes through here, and then we have another V-band here, and the rear muffler. Everything is pretty steady, so that's pretty nice. Oh yeah. Let's hope something's gonna change by adding this O2 sensor. We need to check that. But first, let's lower down the car and then we can try and turn it on. Now it seems like it's running okay. It's still rich as fuck. Not as when it was running really bad, but I think because we also detached the battery while doing the welding, of course. Next step, waiting for the EEPROM programmer. Nice. So I'll see you in maybe in a week. 1 week later here. Instead of 1 week later here.
1 week later.
Okay.
1 eternity later.
We decided to go with our last resort, guys, which is this cable that goes into the Piggyback, which I'm gonna show you right away. But first, let me take a selfie. I know, man. Because this freaking ECU, man, has made me go insane, for real. Like, okay, remember that last time I told you guys that we were trying to read the EEPROM about this, that it's an EEPROM reader, and we tried reading the two EEPROMs that this car had. One was the stage 1 that was already installed, as you can see on the ECU. This is a stock one, but you can remove it. But I think this ECU doesn't come with a removable EEPROM. I think you have to add this little socket here. We tried reading both of them, and the problem is, when we read this, everything was written in hexadecimal text. This is the program that we used for reading the EEPROM, which is they're gonna give it to you. You're gonna like choose the chip and so on, and then you're gonna load the map. You can read the map that's already on. You can load a map that you want. So anyway, guys, we tried reading. For example, let me like load the map that I was using. This is the stock map, okay? Basically, you see that everything has changed, everything has numbers in it. And from here, you must use other programs such as Windows, for example, that is able to show you like the maps. I'm sure there is a way to read every code of this. Might mean that there is a map in here. So this might be like a map sensor. This might be, I don't know, like the ignition table. Yeah. But we didn't manage to find the map pack that will translate this. So it's the process is much harder. And we tried instead using the ECM Titanium, which is this program here, through a virtual machine. This program is much easier to use, but it shows much less maps than Windows. We browse the file that has the stock map in. You say no, blah blah blah. See, it automatically reveals what engine, what ECU you have. But it didn't work with the stage 1. It worked only with the stock map. These are all the maps that this program shows us. But see, there's only like a few of them. And the information is, I don't know, it's not accurate. And it's also in strange numbers. I really don't understand this. Whoever does this must really know his way through these programs, man. So we arrived at the conclusion that with these programs, even if we manage to see all the maps, even like with Windows, let's say we see the map, we see everything in detail, still this map isn't built to read the boost. So forget the EEPROM in this case, and we decided to leave all that shit aside and switch to the cazzo l'ho messo? Okay, to this little beauty. That's why we had the connector here. Daddy, yes. And we're gonna use this as a fuel implant mod. I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna make a special diagram for you guys so that I can show you what cables I took from the ECU and the sensors and which way I put them. So I'm gonna try and leave the photo here. So guys, it's time to do the real deal. Are you ready? Ah, whoa, it's so pretty, man. Look at it. Mama, it's pretty. See, we have two ECUs here. The shitty one, which is not here yet, and the beautiful one. Anyway, so next step, attaching the map sensor, putting the cable in, and see if we can read something.
I think this is a light. Yeah,
Also,
it's turned on. Yeah, red. It's a tiny red LED.
show me.
That's
Oh, it's so pretty.
hola.
We have electricity.
Electricity.
Yes.
It's working. Maybe.
So yeah, we're gonna do the setup, and then I'll see you guys after this is done. So guys, this is the program. You need to download the fuel implant version. So this is the fuel table. This is the volumetric efficiency table, which is the one that's allowing me to make the mixture more rich or more lean. You can also change the mixture during the warm-up of the vehicle. You can also use your intake air temperature to do the same, but if you don't have it, just like me, just leave it as it is. So when you open the program, the first thing to do is to set up the sensors. So basically in this version, in the fuel implant version, you have all these sensors that you should calibrate. This setup you can also manage the injectors. That's why we use this. We put on bigger injectors. After you did the wiring of this of the DET3, after that you need to do the calibration of the sensors. So you're gonna have to do the intake air temperature sensor calibration. You're gonna have to do the coolant temperature sensor, the map sensor, and the TPS, which is throttle position sensor. Doing this is a bit complicated. If you guys have the same engine, you should just type here 989. You need to choose the sensor, okay? I have the 0 to 6 sensor. You're gonna have to see the CLT temperature the same as you see here. So if you see 90 degrees here, you should see 90 degrees here, or approximately 90. I didn't do the calculations because it's a pain in the ass. You have to do the same with the EAT if you have it. It's gonna be the same procedure. And then you need to also calibrate the map sensor. In my case, it's already integrated because it's the DET3 version with the map sensor integrated. It's actually 3 bars plus 1. That's the atmospheric pressure. That's why you see 4 kilopascal. It's actually only able to read up to 3 bars on the turbo, because you have 3 bars of the turbo plus 1. It's the atmospheric pressure. Oh yeah, the TPS. Anyway, just play with it, but this should be like the standard setup for this engine, for this car. The general setup, let me see. Yeah, just leave the speed density, should be okay. The cylinders, this is my engine displacement. This is the load range that you want to view on your table. So basically I'm going to go from 21 kilopascal to 2 kilopascal, which is like 1 bar after the atmospheric pressures. Anyway, if you copy this, you should be able to make everything work properly, if you have the same engine as mine, of course. Yeah, injectors. Basically I have the 440 cc's, the 1.150 injector opening time in milliseconds, and the battery correction, I left it like that. I connected the injectors as batch fire, output 1 and 2. Anyway, after you've done this, what else? And if you have a boost controller, you can add it. You can do a lot of things with this. I'm not gonna go into every little detail because this video is not about that. I'm also experimenting this, so anyway, when you have the fuel implant mode and you inserted the MAF to the pin 2, you need to select it as analog input. Okay, then you need to go to analog output and insert this offset for the analog, so that the ECU can read this offset of the voltage in the stock ECU, so that the stock ECU doesn't realize that we removed the MAF from her. And I think you also need to use this switch tables using map switch input. You also need to do scales configuration. So this is basically the only analog that you have that you can assign something to it. It's the only one. And in this case, we are obligated to use it as a MAF to map conversion, or just like to fake the MAF sensor to the stock ECU, so that it doesn't realize that we removed it. So you need to go to load, and you need to select the 5V linear scale. You see, just press open, exactly. Then you go OK, save it, and so on. Then you should be fine with the MAF to map conversion. So we'll just wrap this baby up, and then we can go for a ride. We removed the MAF because of the MAF to map conversion. Hopefully everything's gonna work well. So now it's time to go for a ride. Let's go, bitches.
Io sul 1008 non ho visto un barometro così bello. Ah, ok. Meno male che... Lavato! L'hai detto lui però! Quanto cazzo attaccato! No! Era un po' grande.
Il fondo tutto in terza. Ma non sentilo, bro!
Porca troia! Ma senti l'elettronica quanto minchia cambia! È assurdo!
Oh, ma merda!
Adesso
siamo
attacca!
super grassi, eh!
Sì!
Oh, mi scared him! Come to me! Okay guys, we set up the launch control, so let's see how that goes.
Hello? Here we are. Okay guys, so we're back from the road tests. We did a couple of, let's say, tuning sessions on the street. We did a couple launch control tests. We tried some banks, but we didn't manage to bring them to an end, but it doesn't matter. Those are just some small details that we're going to adjust in the future. Let's say the whole project has gone really, really well. We did not expect everything to work so good, because like we had no experience whatsoever with this kind of things. So after the drift test that we did, I don't like how the car behaves with these suspensions and the angle kit that I put on. I don't like how it behaves. It's very unpredictable, and it does a lot of understeer. So we're gonna see that in the future. Anyway, but motor-wise, engine-wise, ECU-wise, it's working perfectly. So this ECU, guys, if you want to do the same, you have the same engine, even the same 4-cylinder, but 316, you can also do the same thing. If you have an E30, an E46, an E36, I think you can do the same if you have the same 4-cylinder engine. So if you have this engine, the 4-cylinder, single cam, even if you have the twin cam, I'm sure you can do this as well. and with the DET3 fuel implant mode. So you have to connect the injectors. If you follow all these videos that I showed you, the configurations that I showed you, which I'm also going to be sharing with you in the description, just for you guys. But I recommend you. This is a first map, by the way. This is just like a map that we did on the street, a couple of, let's say, 1 hour of driving. It's set up for the 440cc injectors. We're currently running like 0.7, almost 0.8 bars. So that's quite a lot for this engine. I think it's pretty at its limit. I don't know how much this engine is going to last. I'm going to keep you guys updated if anything happens. Hopefully this turbo is going to spool fast enough to drift on the dry as well. Because on the wet it's going really nice. But we're going to have to still test it on dry conditions. Yeah. I was also thinking about doing a cost video of how much it costs to build this E36 turbo. Yeah, if you guys want to hear that, just let me know down in the comments. Guys, so if you have the same car and you're just waiting for the right moment, stop waiting for the right moment. Just start the project. Trust me, you're gonna have so much fun. Thanks for watching and peace.